Okay, let's see what we have here. We're going to continue our discussion. If you're in one of my classes, we're at Chapter 10, slides 30 to 41. We're probably going to have to make two videos to get through those because some of these questions take a little bit of time, explanation, and so forth. So let's get started. It says what we're going to be talking about is we're going to be talking about installment note liabilities. To begin with, that's what we're going to be talking about in this particular video. So let's see what it says. It says if a company borrows money from a bank as an installment note, the interest portion of each annual payment will equal the interest rate on the note times the carrying amount of the note at the beginning of the period, remain constant over the term of the note, equal the interest rate on the note times the face amount, and increase over the term of the note. Okay, well, I think it's important that we understand that choices B and C are the exact same thing. They really are. They're not worded exactly the same, but they are exactly the same. So what I want to do to answer this question, to help you out a little bit, to help you understand, is kind of use a generic figure. We don't have any figures in our question, but I want to add some figures to our question. So we're going to play pretend that this installment note is for $500,000. Okay, $500,000. And we're also going to pretend that the interest rate is 6%. I'm going to enter that as a decimal form. Okay, now we can get our little calculator over here. Nice and handy. We take $500,000, we multiply that by 0.06 or 6%, we come up with $30,000. Okay, so what is that $30,000? That's the amount of interest that we're going to pay. Now what we don't have here is we do not have an amount of the actual payment. So we're just make this up out of the clear blue sky, and I'm going to say, let's see here, we're going to say that the payment equals $40,000. Okay, they're making a $40,000 payment once a year because it says annual. Okay, all right. So let's clear out our calculator and understand what's going on here. We borrowed $500,000. We made a $40,000 payment, of which $30,000 was interest. So what do we do with the difference between the $40,000 payment and the $30,000 that we said was interest? That's $10,000. 40 minus 30 is 10. We subtract it from 500. So our carrying amount after we make that payment is $490,000. Our stated interest rate is still, in our little example, 6%. And so for year 2, we're going to take our carrying amount of $490,000 times the same 6% interest rate, and that's going to give us $29,400. So, I want you to look at choice D. Choice D says increase over the term of the note. The exact opposite is happening. The interest is going down, not up. Therefore, we can say that this statement, choice A, equal the interest rate on the note, 6%, times the carrying amount of the note at the beginning of the period. At the beginning of the first period, the carrying amount was $500,000. So interest was equal to $500,000 times the rate, and that gave us $30,000. But for the second year, in our example, which I'm just making up numbers, we had a carrying amount of only $490,000 because remember our payment was $40,000. So we got to knock our debt down by $10,000. What a deal. $490,000 times 6%. This example, what we've looked at here, is what we did over here in choice A. All right? Let's look at this example. This question says, on January 1, Gemstone Company obtained a $165,000 10-year 7% installment note from Guarantee Bank, and this note requires annual payments of $23,492, with the first payment occurring on the last day of the fiscal year. The first payment consists of interest of $11,550 and principal repayment of $11,942. So, this is their payment here. They're giving it here. Up here I had to just make it up as $40,000. And they're breaking down the interest and the principal for us. How generous. The journal entry to record the issuance of the installment note for cash on January 1 would include, well, look what it says right here. Issuance. Issuance, in your mind, you need to associate that with the beginning. Okay, beginning. So our journal entry is very, very simple. For the beginning, when we get the money, all we need to do is debit cash for $165,000, and then we need to set up a liability to notes payable for $165,000. So our answer is either going to be a debit to cash for $165,000, or it's going to be a credit to notes payable. Looking over here at these choices, I don't see anything about cash whatsoever, but I do see a credit to notes payable for $165,000. So if we were going to do this for on January 1st, that's our date, it would be a very simple journal entry. $165,000 and $165,000. Our debit is cash. It's with answer choice C. Okay? All right. Very good. Let's look at another couple of examples here. Now, this one's going to take some time, so bear with me. It says, on January 1, year 1, Zero Company obtained a $52,000 4-year 6.5% installment note from Regional Bank. The note requires annual payments, means we're going to make one payment a year, of $15,179, beginning on December the 31st of year 1. Now, it says here, the December 1st, year 2 carrying amount in the allocation of periodic payments table for this installment note will be equal to, okay, so we're going to have to do a little bit of work here. We're going to have to set this up. We've got a period, and then we've got an interest rate of 6.5%. Let's see here, we've got a payment, and then we want to know how much of that is interest, because they're not going to tell us. And then we've got a carrying amount. I'm sure this is going to fit on the page here. And they've given us our carrying amount initially at $52,000. Okay. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move. I'm going to change this stuff around a little bit. Make it a little bit easier. Okay. So our payment is $15,179. And what we need to do is this. We need to say, for that first year, 52,000 times 6.5% equals 3380. Okay? 3380. So our payment is $15,179. Our interest is $3380. Okay? So This is probably not set up the best way in the world that it could be, but what we want to do is we want to subtract interest from payment amount. So in the first year we want to take $15,179 and subtract from that $33.80. So let's look at what we have. We've got $15,179 minus $33.80 equals $11,799. So $11,799. We're going to want to subtract, let's just write here in here, principal, and we're going to enter this as, or I'm going to enter this as a negative number. So we take 52,000 minus the amount applied to principal, $11,799, $40,201. Okay? And this is going to be for year 1. Year 2, payment is still $15,179. Interest rate is still 6.5%. But now we're going to take this carrying amount of $40,201, which we have right here, we're going to multiply that figure by 0.065. And we're going to round this down to just simply 2613. Okay, so our interest is 2613. And then we're going to do the same thing again. Now we would really do this with a calculator. That's okay. So let's do that with a calculator. 15, we wouldn't really be writing all this stuff out. Minus 2613 is 12,566. And that is the amount that we're going to apply to principal. So we're going to take our previous carrying amount of $40,201, subtract the amount of the payment that was applied to principal, which was $12,566. And that's going to give us a carrying amount of $27,635. It says the December 31st, year 2 carrying amount in the allocation periodic payments table for this installment note will be equal to $27,635. Now at the beginning of the day, you could probably make the case that it was $40,201, so it's not real clear if we've made 2 payments or 1, but the way I did it is we're assuming that we have made 2 payments. Okay? Now, let's do this. Let's do one more question quickly. On January the 1st, Yergin Company obtained a $125,000 7-year 5% installment note. The note requires annual payments of $21,662, with the first payment occurring on the last day of the fiscal year. The first payment consists of $6,250 interest and principal repayment of $15,352. So they're doing the math for us. So journalize the following entries. Issued the installment note for cash on January the 1st. Well, this is pretty easy. So let's do this. Let's put an A here and January 1st here. All right, we've got $125,000, so we're just going to simply debit cash for $125,000, and we're going to set up a note payable for $125,000. I am abbreviating, and I am also skipping journal entry explanations in the interest of time. B. paid the first annual payment on the note. Okay? Very good. So the payments are $21,620. So we should know that we're going to have to credit cash for $21,602. Okay? But let's see what else is going on here. The first payment consists of $62.50 interest and principal repayment of $15,352. What they're telling us here is that our note payable is no longer $125,000. It's actually $125,000 minus $15,352. So let's see here. Now this is the last day of the fiscal year, so that's December the 31st. So we're going to debit our note payable for $15,352. We're also going to recognize interest expense of $6,250, and then we're going to recognize the cash payment of $21,602 as our credit for this journal entry. Okay, I hope that helped, and we will finish up with one more video after this.